and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I'm your host, Saieed. Remember, viewers, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Share our link on social media. So as we go into our news tonight, Trinidad and Tobago is now placing greater emphasis on financial oversight, border control, and interagency cooperation as part of its counter-terrorism strategy as government moves to implement the 2025 National Counter-Terrorism Strategy. Now, this as the second meeting of the Inter-Ministerial Committee for the Counter-Terrorism yesterday examined the role of various ministries in a national strategy, where Finance Minister Devendranath Thakur said financial systems are central to efforts to disrupt terrorist financing and organized criminal activity. The Defense Ministry said the meeting also addressed the contribution of other portfolios to the country's counter-terrorism effort. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers also spoke about the role of regional and international partnership in improving intelligence sharing, institutional resilience, inter-priority, and the protection of critical infrastructure. So Trinidad and Tobago, all ministries moving forward, and they have the go-ahead. So very soon, in Trinidad and Tobago, in the coming months, we are going to have 30 police and joint army patrol posts throughout Trinidad. And all the ministries presently are looking to make sure and clamp down on terrorism, which is a good thing for the Trinidad and Tobago, which is a good thing. If we are to invite investors on a large scale, Trinidad and Tobago needs to cooperate. Trinidad and Tobago needs to up their game. Trinidad and Tobago have to make sure that whatever country we go to and they ask, what plan do we have for terrorism in our country, our plan will be laid out by the Ministry of Security. And that is a very, very great idea. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are moving forward in security. Switching a bit, the United States newly launched Joint Task Force, Western Hemisphere Action Arm, will synchronize military operation with trusted allies and partners, including Trinidad and Tobago, against drug cartel and other transnational criminal organizations. A U.S. source confirmed yesterday that TNT Defense Force will be part of the proposed built task force. But Kamla Prasad Bisasa was mum on the initiative, which some U.S. and hemisphere stakeholders believe could assist in furthering regional and hemisphere security. The U.S. Southern Command, Southcom, activated its task force, which will operate with the 18-nation America's Counter-Cartel Coalition, Shields of America, launched by the U.S. President Donald Trump in March in Florida. The A3C aims to strengthen intelligence sharing and coordination with the regional operational, and they are against organized crime and drug cartel. Welcoming the move, former National Security Minister Gary Griffith says this partnership will enhance regional security.
What we are seeing here is trying to work good against bad, and trying to get the military forces to work together, not just in operations, but sharing of intelligence And that will play a very big part towards assisting us to deal with drug trafficking, human trafficking, the transfer with illegal weapons through CARICOM. And with the U.S. having the capacity with the type of assets that they have, it is of value for Trinidad and Tobago to work hand in hand with the U.S. in such an operation.
So viewers, however, regional security expert Dr. Gavin Hira is warning that involvement in the US-led alliance should not undermine the country's long-standing relationship with CARICOM or create unnecessary tension among regional neighbors.
We must understand that based on our participation, must always be guided by our national interest. Trinidad and Tobago must ensure that decisions taken within this alliance do not and should not undermine our long-standing relationship with CARICOM or create unnecessary regional tensions. The objective should be to strengthen our security while preserving regional unity. That must be a priority.
So viewers, big questions and big topic in Trinidad and Tobago. After Roger Alexander made mention that they want to use prisoners who have been sentenced to hard labor, they want to use them to rehabilitate them by bringing them out in the open to cut grass and to maintain public buildings. So here it is. Law enforcement consultant and firearm expert Paul Nahus have stated that using prisoners for community work is not a bad suggestion, but he admits it is a complex issue. After the Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander announced plans to use inmates serving hard labor sentence to clean and maintain public space across Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Nahu says the success of this is dependent on the framework and how it is managed. He suggests that it should provide meaningful rehabilitation and tangible benefit, which leads to reduce crimes. Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this.
The public likes to say that, or likes to see that people are being punished. And I'm not disagreeing because I have zero sympathy for criminals. I really don't. However, we have to understand that it's a public safety issue. That being punitive alone does not deter repeat offenders. Usually, it does not stop the career criminals. A lot of times, it even desensitizes people that go in to it who become career criminals. If you look at it as a punitive measure only.
So Trinidad again, we are talking about criminals who are serving sentence and are being served with hard labor. How are we, or how is TTPS going to make sure that these criminals don't run away when they reach into the open? How are we to guarantee the safety of these people when they are outside of the prison walls to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? How are we going to act or react when you hear one criminal decides to run away? How much individual will go after this one criminal? How much security is going to be placed to watch these criminals when they cut grass in public space? This is the concerns. What about the safety of the citizens in the community? What about all those things? Did Roger Alexander thought of all these things? Did he thought about when a prisoner decide to run away, what is going to happen? If a group of individuals decides to say, you know what, when we go outside tomorrow, we're going to run amok. What is going to happen? What is the consequence? What type of security apparatus are they putting in place? Are they going to be security with firearms? Are they going to be security with batons? Are they going to be security with shocking device? You see, saying it All well and good in saying it, you know, nothing wrong with saying that you want to put these criminals in public space to maintain it. But have you thought about the security behind it? Have you thought about the amount it's going to cost the state to fund this project? Who is going to be hired as the security firm behind these people and them? We are talking about criminals. Some of them may be seasoned criminals. And to be honest with you, Trinidad and Tobago, to be honest with you, to hear this comment from the Minister of Homeland Security, you know, sometimes I wonder about the safety of Trinidad and Tobago just by he making the statement. What kind of ministers will put criminals outside to cut grass in our public space, knowing that we do not have enough manpower on the security side to deal with these things? You want to put 20 criminals to cut grass and 2 police to watch them. I'm just saying, what is the consequence? Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes when ministers make statements, is it to get the feedback of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? Or is it that they are just talking raw nonsense? I ask myself this many times, you know. Many times. You want to rehabilitate these individuals who are serving hard labor in prison by bringing them out to cut grass in public space. To cut grass. Is that rehabilitating them? That is what I'm asking myself. You want to rehabilitate a criminal, let's say a seasoned criminal, by cutting grass. I am still waiting to hear the Law Association take on this. I am still waiting to hear independent senators take on this. I am still waiting to hear the opinions of magistrates in a matter like this. I am still waiting to hear security experts. What is their take on this nonsense? Is this a distraction? I don't know, I'm just saying, you know. I'm just saying. So Roger needs to come out and tell Trinidad and Tobago a little more, or a ton more, about this plan that they plan to put in place. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break. Stay locked on. When we come back, we're going to hear about the Joint Army Police Post could replace the need for SOE. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results sooner. Call our Central or South branches today.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concerns. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So welcome my viewers. Political scientist Professor Hamid Ghani has stated that the government plans to establish 30 joint army police posts across the country appears to be its most recent strategy for replacing the current SOE. Professor Ghani said he believes the government will allow the state of emergency to end, with a new joint army police post helping to maintain a visible security presence in the community. He also stressed that data will show further the initiative yield positive benefits for the country. Listen to this.
Results will tell us exactly where these initiatives are going. So I don't suspect another emergency is over the horizon. I suspect that these initiatives are going to be ramped up in the post-emergency period.
So viewers, the political scientist pointed to availability data, saying it would provide quantitative evidence to support the strategy's effectiveness.
Police provide all of these divisional reports about crime statistics in their various divisions. And I think that we're going to have to see what kind of reports the police are going to provide for us in terms of how the system is working, this proposed initiative.
So viewers, Professor noted that the crime is being tackled on multiple fronts, with authorities combining security measures, law enforcement initiative, and community-based intervention. Listen to this.
We're going to have to depend on the data to see what's going on with regard to this. And I think that, the crime is obviously being fought on a number of fronts. The issue of drug lord manipulation and drug operations and collaboration with the United States government, which has been another source of criticism. The government made a policy decision that it would support initiatives by the United States as a means of trying to deal with the international drug problem.
So now viewers, Ghani said the Joint Police and Army Patrol initiative is being welcomed by communities across Trinidad and Tobago. So viewers, feel free tonight, call in the program. Let us know what you think about it, because this is a big topic trending in Trinidad and Tobago. Security is number one. I always say that security of the country is number one. Education and healthcare is most important also. So we have security number 1, education second, and healthcare is third. 3 main factors in Trinidad and Tobago. Each government that comes into power supposed to better the country than they meet it. They're supposed to have the country more uplifted, better than how they met it. But is that taking place? All we hear is about corruption in office. Corruption in office, corruption in office. And the country is going down step by step by step. But nevertheless, as we switch gears a bit, Defense Minister Wayne Sturge has rejected the opposition claim that the government's planned rollout of 30 joint police and army posts across Trinidad and Tobago is an introduction of the zone of special operation, insisting the initiative is focused on delivering measurable results in crime-fighting areas. Caller, good night. Go right ahead, my friend, you're live.
Concerning the Alexander prisoners cleaning the grass.
Yes.
I have a little topic on that.
Tell me.
That is something so critical. Let me tell you something. This country busy with cars in the road, right? You put in prisoners to cut grass. What about if some friend or some family throw a firearm in the grass up with it? They take it up and them shoot down them police and all the people who cut in grass just distract and run away the country.
Possibilities do exist.
The next thing is get government workers to cut the grass, pay them because they have families to keep out in this country.
Correct.
To put food on the table.
Correct.
Right? Criminal who kill a person and sit down in jail, hang them. Right?
Well said.
Hang them, don't mind them in the jail.
Well said.
Right? And this country will get better. That is my topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, Sturge dismissed claims by opposition leader Penelope Beckles that the initiative was an attempt to quietly reintroduce the concept. Now, criminologist Dr. Randy Sipasad described the establishment of a joint post as a good move, but stressed that the effectiveness would depend on how they are implemented. Listen to this.
This, I have no doubt, once done properly, will result in a further decline in criminal offending beyond what we are seeing. And indeed, it creates a perfect opportunity for evaluating the effectiveness of the approach.
While police says discussions are still to be held on how the TGPS will staff the initiative, Corporate Communication Manager of ASP Joan Archie was asked how many officers would be assigned to the post and whether the service has the manpower to support the initiative. She said, those discussions have not yet taken place. Listen to this.
As it relates to managing crime on the whole, human resource management is a key part of that. And as Mr. Kirk said, we welcome all resources that can be that we can input into the fight against crime. So it's an issue of managing the resources, balancing off where you can take officers from and where you can balance off where is needed most.
So Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, former Minister in the National Security Minister Keith Scotland have stated that the plan to introduce 13 new joint police and army posts is not an effective crime tool. He added that the areas identified seem contrary to the government identification of hotspot, raising more questions as a reason for this initiative. Listen to this.
Of course, in Parliament, it was said that most of the crime occurs in Port of Spain North, St. Anne's, East Port of Spain, South, and Laventille. Well, the putting of those posts not in those areas is counterintuitive to what was told in Parliament. What is the intelligence? Where's the data that has decided or that has led to the conclusion that these are the 26 spots?
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we have, let's say, 6,000 police officers. Good? 6,000 police officers. And they have to introduce 30 police posts throughout Trinidad and Tobago. So 6,000 officers divide by 30, you're going to get 200. 200 officers. Imagine that, eh? 200 officers at a spot by 30. And if you have 6,000 TTDF officers, and you divide that by 30, you're getting 200 on a spot. So which means 400, just saying, 400 officers on one hotspot. 200 police officers by 200 TTDF officers. Now, listen to this. 6,000 police officers. How much do we have patrolling the streets? How much do we have in fraud department? How much do we have as frontline officers? This is the question. How many officers are you going to put on a post? Remember, having a police post set up throughout Trinidad and Tobago is all well and good. House breaking, house invasion, we have larceny, we have robberies. All these things will come under stress. You know why? Because if you have 2 or 3 police posts in Shogunas alone, that alone is going to stress out bandits. Because when you divide the 6,000 by 30 posts, 200 officers in one post, there's a lot. That's a lot. Now, when you call the, on an ordinary note, when you call the station, they don't have a vehicle. We have, let's say you have 10 officers in a station with 2 vehicles. One working, one not working. So how are we going to deal with this now? Police need vehicles to move with. In order to counteract bandits, you need vehicles. You need a proper command center. You need reliable officers. So let's hope within the 4 months period, they're going to purchase more vehicles. They're going to build command centers. They're going to train these individuals how to approach these citizens and talk to them. So let's hope within this 4 months period, Trinidad and Tobago police force is completely revamped. When I mean revamped, I mean vehicles. I mean education-wise for the officers. Gathering sensitive information. How they communicate with the citizens. How they patrol. All these things have to be taught to these officers and them. Remember, they are going to manage a post. So all these things have to be put in place. Vehicles, number 1 priority. Number 1. It's not just you build a station and put 2 officers and you forget them. It's not that. So let's hope that they have this proper plan in place. Now, viewers, Scotland added that he's also concerned about the resources needed to have the post up and running. And it's the same thing I just said. It's the same thing I just said. So this is a serious measure. Let's just hope that they have the proper things in place protocol in place to deal with this. So we're going over to Tobago now. So before we go to Tobago, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but still October, when we come back, we head into Tobago to hear what they think about this initiative. Still October.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results sooner. Call our Central or South branches today.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concerns. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. I almost forgot, viewers. Real Talk Financing. Yes, Real Talk Financing. They are offering you 7% on a fixed deposit. Trinidad and Tobago, do not let this offer pass you by, and then you'll be wondering, how do I make money? I'll tell you this. You have already worked for your money. Now it's time that your money worked for you. It is time now that your money work for you. You have already put in the labor. Make your money. Now let your money work for you. So Real Talk Financing on Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas and Cipero Street in San Fernando is offering you 7% on a fixed deposit. Meaning, if you invest $100,000, your interest per year is $7,000 interest. Multiply that by 5, it's 35,000. So at the end of the 5 years, Trinidad and Tobago, it's $35,000 you're getting. 35,000. So when you pull your capital and you pull your interest, it's $135,000 you're getting. And everybody knows in Trinidad and Tobago and around the world that we licensed. We registered to deal financing Trinidad and Tobago. We are FIU certified also. So I'm proud to say that. Also, Real Talk Credit Union, come down and join the credit union. If you don't have a family indemnity plan, come on down to Real Talk Credit Union, be a member of the credit union, open an insurance with the credit union, FIP plan, so in case you're here, the loved one die, and you don't have the finance to bury him, the family indemnity plan will provide that capital, that insurance, cash for you to bury your loved one. So Trinidad and Tobago, take advantage of that opportunity. Take advantage of it. So as we go back with our program tonight, in Tobago, Divisional Commander for the Tobago Police Division, Senior Superintendent Rod Hill Kirk, has expressed concerns over a rise in murder and home invasion across in Tobago. Kirk said, law enforcement is intensifying its effort to address the troubling trend with increased measures aimed at improving public safety and curbing criminal activity on the island. Listen to this.
In terms of our murders within the division, we have seen an increase for the corresponding period, which last year we had 4 murders, and this year we stand at 7. We are pleased to also report that 3 of those murders were detected, and when in looking at the probable cause, 2 of those murders were gang-related, 2 was a result of revenge, 1 domestic, and 2 we haven't classified as yet in terms of, they are still unknown in terms of the probable cause.
Tobago is a nice island. Lots of German and English people leave their island to come to Tobago. It's a tourist attraction. And to hear the commander complaining about a rise in criminal activity, it is going to kill the growth of the island. Stiff penalties, quick action, resourceful intelligence, neighborhood watch. That is the key thing, neighborhood watch. And they'll fix the problem. He also revealed an increase in serious crimes between January and July 2026, which he attributes largely to an uptick in break-ins, which rose from 480 to 487 incidents in that period of January and July. Now, of those reported cases, commercial break-ins account for up to 30%, while residential break-ins made up of the remaining 70% in residential area. Imagine this, eh? In response, the Tobago Division recently launched active drive patrols operating 24 hours per day. Listen to this now.
Looking at the results of our operations throughout the period, we have implemented 743 operations. We had 4,849 street checks, a total of 209 persons arrested for serious crimes, 95 of those arrests are for narcotic offenses. The others are for various types of offenses, including break-in, robberies, home invasions.
So viewers, again I see strategic planning. Strategic planning will fix it. Now, 24 hours a day they're running, a 24-hour-a-day operation. So meanwhile, Assistant Superintendent of Police for the Tobago West Division, Mahalai Bacchus, emphasized that efforts will be placed on emphasizing officers' training to boost overall competency. I hope that is the word. In the fight against crime. Listen to this.
The division is committed to improving public order and the quality of life through consistent enforcement of traffic laws and minor offenses, including activities such as illegal vending and littering, and the obstruction of our public streets and pavements.
So viewers, you know how hard it is for officers to work 24 hours? It's hard, you know. It's hard. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, we wish them all in luck in fighting crime in Tobago, because Tobago is a tourist destination. It attracts tourists. And when you hear the people in Tobago decide to commit a crime, they decide to kill the growth of Tobago. That is the decision you're making. Imagine you commit a crime in your own country and you are actually killing the growth of your own country. It's sad. It's sad. I am still awaiting to hear, since the home invasion bill have been passed in Trinidad and Tobago, I am still waiting to hear how much firearm the Commissioner of Police have signed off on, specifically under the home invasion bill. Trinidad and Tobago, you know what will help the crime in this country? When they give businessmen firearm. Let the bandits know that when you're running to a place, is two things going to happen. Is either you die or I die. That is it. That is why you will find a country with a low murder rate or a low crime rate. It's because the businessman and the homeowners have firearms. So bandits thinking twice to run in. But in Trinidad, do we have this here? No, we don't have this. Because a former Prime Minister said, we don't want to turn Trinidad and Tobago into a wild, wild west. We have 6,000 police officers with 6,000 licensed firearms, and we have hundreds of thousands of bandits patrolling the streets in Trinidad and Tobago with hundreds and thousands of automatic rifles. Check it for all yourself. Check it for all yourself. Each gang member holds a firearm. Each gang member holds a firearm. How many gang members are there in Trinidad and Tobago? I am 100% certain it crosses 6,000. Oh God, Trinidad and Tobago, let's say something now, man. Oh, let's say something now. We're starting from Forest, come straight up to the present Attorney General. Everybody knows the gangs, everybody knows the gang leaders, everybody knows how much gangs have in Trinidad and Tobago. Everybody knows how many members of gangs there are, because at one point in time, they were saying how many gang members there are. So if we have 6,000 police officers, that is 6,000 legal firearms on one platter. And then on another platter now, you have a surpass of 6,000 gang members in Trinidad and Tobago. That is surpassing 6,000 illegal firearms. Now this is just gang members. We are not talking about the side road bandits and them who holds automatic rifles also. Hundreds of thousands of bandits in Trinidad and Tobago with hundreds of thousands of illegal firearms. I want somebody in the Ministry of National Security to come out now and say, Saieed, you're lying. Come out and tell me that. Come out and tell me that. Let me tell you a little something in Trinidad and Tobago. And all your eyes will open with this. So listen to me carefully. Very carefully. When you go to sign up for TTPS to be a police officer, listen to this, they will take your fingerprint. They will do a background check with you in the community. You write your exam, they pull you in TTPS, and they give you a licensed firearm to move with. Automatically, you become a Trinidad and Tobago police officer. Your motto is to protect and serve, and you have a firearm to the side of you. Just like that. A background check. Somebody come in the community, check you out. Hey, he's a good boy, he's a good boy, he's a good boy. Boom, check to do your exam, your training, and you're inside TTPS. All well and good. A businessman who running a business for 10 years, who has gotten robbed 8 years straight by different bandits, who is a pillar in the community. You know when he signed up for a firearm, it taken 40 years for him to get his gun? It taken 40 years for him to get his gun. Because they had to check, and 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 they had to investigate his dead grandmother, and then the nephew who died in an accident, they investigating he too. All this to make sure that this businessman is a legitimate businessman. Let me tell you something, Trinidad. We have the most sucked, stink games being played in Trinidad and Tobago. It stinks. Inside once you're going to TTPS. It's very simple, you know. It's very simple. They do a background check. You take your fingerprint. You make sure you have no case. 2-3 people say he's a good boy. And you carry a license firearm for TTPS. You could become two things, a good officer or a rogue officer. With just a background check. All well and good, you know. All well and good. To protect and save, that your motto. You're in TDPS. But for a businessman to get a firearm, it's real hell. It's real hell in Trinidad and Tobago. It's stinking sad. Surprising, eh? I surely never thought about that. I am definitely sure I never thought about that. One background check and an exam, and 2 people say you're good in the community, and you're inside TDPS with a license gun on your waist. But the businessman who have a business running 20 years, 10 years, he's still waiting for his firearm. They do a background check on him, he good. The 2-3 people in the community say he good. And 10 years now, he's still waiting for a firearm. I never thought about that. Ask this man. You see this man? Ask this man if you think I lie. Ask him. Why do you think I said it on national television, on a live program? You think I'll come and sell all your nonsense? He knows the truth. He knows the truth. That is why they call this program Real Talk with Saieed. Because you can't get it more real than that. You go tell me a businessman had to wait 10 years for a firearm. Background clean, was never in nothing, giving charities, helping the community, and he had to wait 10 years. He was robbed 5 times in 1 year. And they're still doing background check to see if he's good. But a man just signed up to TTPS, you do a background check, fingerprint clean, community say good, and bam, in less than 6 months time, you have a license gone anyways. But a businessman waiting 10 years, who have the same qualification as that individual, and surpassing, he doing good in the community, and he still had to wait 10 years. Well, tell me now, man. Talk to me now, man. No wonder why that is No wonder why that is a side you're bashing. Bashing is the reality all you're getting that you can't deal with it. So good, we deal with that. Let me deal with this now. Roger Alexander saying they want to make it a law in Trinidad and Tobago that from the time you're 16 years and over, you have to work with an identification card. So when you hear police pull up on you, boom shot, you have to have an identification card. Good, all well and good, nothing wrong with that. Here the flip side to the Trinidad and Tobago. Why is it that when a citizen asks a police officer for his identity, he's saying that's not important? Let come now, man. Let come now, man. Roger Alexander needs to train his officers to be officers and not dogs on the street who vex laws, not hooligans on the street. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, this is the reality. They want to make it mandatory to walk with your ID card so they could identify you. But how are we to identify a legitimate police officer? Real talk. Who you got it from? Saieed Ali. I see my research. I watch somebody, straight from the topic, She watching my hand through the glass, So Trinidad and Tobago, this is some of the things that nobody talks about. The real reality facing us, nobody talks about it. The media don't highlight it. Social media critics, they don't highlight it. Everybody wants to condemn and condemn and condemn and condemn. But where's the solution when you don't condemn? Where's the solution? Everybody wants to bash and condemn and put down. Let me hear 2 cents of the solution. Well, and I, my tail, I. Where is the solution to the problem now? So you see, there's a tit for tat, and there's a this and there's a them say. Caller, good night.
Yeah, but speak.
Hello, you're live on Real Talk. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Said.
You're right. Go right ahead, my friend. You're live.
Yeah, this country can't fix over time, but this country needs somebody to run this country who loves this country. Right? You want to say, who love this country from the heart. That's the only way this country could fix. Because you see, what's going on in this country, the only nice thing this country has for ministers in this country is the money.
Correct.
Right?
I agree with you.
Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
When you hear them get the money in this country, them know what to do with it. They go into the white man land to live. Take the family over there. That is what they like. That is what they like in this country.
They can't obey the law right here. They're going across there.
That is the place they're going to live. Black man, white man, everybody in this country, when they get the finance in this country, they know where they carry their family. So gun and life, gun to get and thing, guys, out of the question.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. So you see Trinidad and Tobago, when I come here, I don't just come here just to talk and read news, I come here to educate you, I am well educated, an accountant. I speak 6 different languages. I have 2 finance company running. Just now, I'm a director with a finance company in Panama, Real Talk Financing in Panama. I travel all over. Let me tell you something. You feel like I pay a gesso? No, I did not pay a gesso. I didn't come here gesso. I just didn't get up one morning and say, you know what? I'm going to start that program. No, I started with a purpose from my heart. From my heart. And today, I am proud to say that we have gotten a lot of things done in Trinidad and Tobago by just being on television. Not just for me, but for the citizens of the country. I love my country. What David Rudder sing, Trinity to the bone? That is me. That is why I am here. I didn't come for fame. I had fame before TV. I do spirit work for ministers all over. High-end people all over. Not only in Trinidad, and I said that numerous times. But the thing is to educate the public. That is my thing. A simple thing as George Alexander wants to wants a demand, and a law passed behind it. Everybody, once you're over 16, walk with your ID card. So why is it now that when a citizen asks a police for his identity, man, you're not supposed to have that, and why you questioning me, and why you want that? No, officer, I don't operate so. If I can't see your ID, well then you can't see mine. And don't tell me you're demanding me. You're not my mother, neither my father. And that is how it goes both ways. You can't want to be a bully and asking me for my ID card and who the hell is you? I'm a police officer. Can I see your identity? No, you don't need to see that. Well, then definitely you don't need to see mine. You don't need to see mine. So TTPS now, if this measure wants to take place, TTPS now have to restructure a learning process to teach officers how to approach the citizen of their country, a black man to a black man. Brother, I'm a police officer. This is my ID. Whether you be a SRP, whether you be a regular, whether you be a corporal, a superintendent, this is my ID, so and so and so. I'm at so and so station. I would like to see your ID. Sir? Sir, you use the term sir. They take your ID, they check you out, bam, bam, bam. Your rap sheet clean, and that's it. That's it. But when you tell me, oh, as a police officer, no need for my ID, how do I trust you? And it starts with trust. How do I trust you? Because that's how all kind of scam, you know. We have police in uniform robbing houses, kidnapping people. So how do I trust you? Trinidad and Tobago, there are nights I will raise my news for you. And there are nights I will educate you. Why? Because I want to be bright. I want you to listen attentively. I want your brains to analyze what I'm telling you, so you will have the capacity to understand what I am speaking. And I am talking English. Because if I go to say, you can't understand what I'm saying. You can't. Because I mix three language right here. Urdu, Sanskrit, and Greek. You would not understand that. Alexander wants to implement 16 years and over must walk with ID card. That is what I just said. Trinidad and Tobago, you gotta come good, you know. One thing I don't do is imitate. I too big to imitate. I learn, I too big to imitate. I too big to imitate. My capacity is too big. So viewers, remember what I'm saying tonight. This is Saieed, Real Talk. We have a team, we put our stories, our videos, everything together to come and share it with you, to educate you. So viewers, until we meet again for another live, another night, be safe and enjoy.